Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to this reading. We are going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Aquarius for the week of November 10th. Now, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Aquarius, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you, where we'll be taking a look at this brand new week of November 10th. So the timeline on this reading will indeed be from November 10th to the 16th. And I do hope that your month of November is off to a good start. But with that said, let's go ahead and get all of the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. All right. And I think that's looking just about good enough to meet. All right. Energy on the bottom. You have the Chariot. All right, Aquarius. So the Chariot is potentially suggesting that you are making some success in your life. I'm getting this idea, like making inroads, paving paths, this sort of thing, like making inroads, paving paths. This can say that you are on a path to success. The Chariot is driving on a road to success. The Chariot is associated with vehicles, right? So sometimes when you get the Chariot card, interestingly enough, it can mean that there's a situation with your vehicle. Maybe you're buying a new vehicle, maybe you're repairing a new vehicle, maybe you're taking a road trip. This can also come up, but think out like on a higher level than that. It can be this idea of driving towards something, right? When you look at the Chariot, and usually it represents success in the tarot. Along with that, it is the idea of as above, so below, right? The actions that we put out there, the things that we do in life really are very important, and they come back to us, right? And so, as I look at this here with the Chariot on the bottom, just to get started, I haven't really taken a hard look at the overview here, but what road do you want to be driving down, in this week ahead here, Aquarius? Because with the Chariot, that's usually a good sign that you can make some inroads on something, right? But right away, I will say that what stuck out to me here is all of first the color green, right? And also the Pentacles cards. And actually, you have 3 of the 4 court cards in the suit of Pentacles, which is very interesting. Usually doesn't happen, right? So you have definitely people showing up for you in this week ahead, whether they are here for support or otherwise. It seems like they are here for support. Not only do you have 3 Pentacles court cards, but you also have a Queen of Cups, which is a court card. You also have, actually, this is a really, really interesting reading, which is that you also here have a counterpart. You have a power couple, actually, counterpart here, which is the Empress and the Emperor. This is also the mother and the father of the tarot. Add to that, you have the 3 of Cups, which signifies other people in your life, Aquarius. So, wow, this is going to be potentially a busy week in terms of communication for you here, Aquarius. But let's dive right in. So in the middle, you do have the Emperor. And the Emperor is definitely also a card of success. So to start off a reading with the Chariot and the Emperor is usually a good sign. The Emperor is typically somebody who's successful in business and career, And with that, this is somebody who's very good at putting plans in motion as well, like building out plans or putting plans in motion. This is somebody who's an authoritative leader, somebody who is generally a leader or generally acts in authority. It's also the sign of Aries. So for you here, I see that what I'm getting at here is that I'm getting something about a purchase or a promotion that wants to come forward for you here in this week. And when I say come forward, you certainly deserve it. Okay, so just to be very clear, but I see that there is there are financial events here on the board, and I see that there's definitely a connection between the money and what you do for your career, like kind of all synthesizing here during this time for you, you're a little bit unsure, okay, as I look at this, or there's some piece that you're waiting for, or there's someone that you're waiting on that is maybe causing you a little bit of stress and anxiety, which we'll get into. So in the first column, you do have the Queen of Cups, you have the Knight of Pentacles, and you have the Three of Cups. So actually, this first column here is the past, and in this weekly reading. And I see that there has been, or there have been financial events here in the past, I would say maybe recently, with the Knight of Pentacles. This is a card that indicates results finally coming in, right? Something that you've worked very hard for, finally coming in, finally coming forward for you when you get the Knight of Pentacles. And I see along with that that you have definitely had a reason to celebrate, as you have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups can represent your social circle, the people you spend time with, or just generally the feeling of celebratory, energy or celebration, in one's life. It refers to other people in your life also. So threes usually connect to others, and you have a three with a bunch of court cards and this power couple here, this counterpart, we could just say counterpart here in the Emperor and the Empress, right? So this is pretty significant here, as you have the an event that has gone on here in the past. And the thing is, I think that the result, there's something here about the results. Like the result was, this is connected to money. Okay, this is connected to money. And it seems that the result was delivered to you with an asterisk. There's an asterisk with that. Okay, there was something that was like the result was you got word that this is coming, but there's one piece, right? There's one piece. There's a catch. Okay, there's something that you're waiting on. So it's like there was the feeling that the result was finally here, and it was, but it wasn't totally complete. I know that's confusing, but this is kind of like what I'm seeing in the cards. Okay. On a different level, with the Queen of Cups and the Three of Cups, I will actually say here in the past that you've had some important conversations with people. This is somebody that you feel is trustworthy. Okay? I'm not actually getting like a lot of negative cards here. I have a sense that you said something to someone that you're now kind of stressing about. This may have been like just like, I'm going to use the word gossip, but it's a little bit different. Like you have shared some information with someone. I don't know if it was about another person. This is why I'm saying I don't know if it's gossip, but what I should say is you've shared some information with someone and you believe that you can trust this person, but you're a little stressed about it. Also very specific, but I think that this is going to end up making sense for some people that are watching. And the reason being is, let me get to this middle column here. You have the Nine of Swords, the Emperor, and the King of Pentacles. All right, so the situation is that there is something right now, because this middle column is kind of like what's going on right now. Everything's good for you, but you have something on your mind. There's something on your mind. Okay, it's maybe playing in the background. That's kind of stressful for you. Okay, it's kind of causing some anxiety. You may have had some like sleepless nights over this. With the Nine of Swords, that you have here, right? This person is having a sleepless night. They're anxious. They're worried that the swords are going to come in and hit them, but they don't actually do that. So this can also represent fear. And this is why I think that there are a couple things going on here. I have multiple messages, multiple timelines that are happening here. As this Knight of Swords is next to the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups is somebody who is a listener, right? This is somebody that you can, pour your heart out to. This is somebody that you typically feel comfortable talking to. But you are worried about some information shared. I actually think that this person's going to keep a secret, so to speak. I do. But we'll get some clarity on that. Okay, but I see a sharing or a spreading of information here with the Three of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And usually the Queen of Cups is good with that. Now, there are other indicators that would suggest no, such as the Seven of Swords. You don't have the Seven of Swords, or the Ten of Swords, or the Three of Swords. Certainly the Seven of Swords, but you don't have that. Okay? But yeah, I know. Let me know if this is connecting at all. Now, there's another timeline here, which is there's a result that was handed to you, but there was a stipulation. There was an asterisk associated with that. And you're now thinking about this here with the Nine of Swords. It's heavy on your mind as you have the Nine of Swords here. King of Pentacles is a practical person. This is somebody who has, achieved success as well in life. You certainly have a ton of success here that is on the board. This is a very, very good reading for you here. You seem to be in line for some achievement or success that wants to happen here. It's most likely in financial areas. Maybe you are making a purchase. Maybe this is a purchase or a promotion, like I said at the beginning here. But there seem to be two parties that are involved. Okay, we've got a King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles counterpart. We've got an Emperor and Empress counterpart available. It seems that there are two parties involved in this scenario or situation in some way, which kind of makes me think that some of you are purchasing or selling a home with your significant other, right? Does that make sense? That might make sense. Now, this isn't going to be for everyone, but you could also be entering into new agreements, like with your partner, however that partner looks to you, right? Like, is this a romantic partnership? Is this a business partnership? How is that? Like, there are two parties involved here. For sure. Let's take a look at the final column. You have the Empress, the Four of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. So this is one where we're probably going to jump to the clarification section very quickly because I need more details. I haven't had a reading like this in a very long time, maybe ever, because it's so specific that there's an event here happening with the Knight of Pentacles and two parties involved at the same time. And then there's a bit of a wild card here, which is the Queen of Cups. This person is a bit of a wild card. Yeah? Okay, so then you do have this Four of Wands, which this card can indicate stability. It's ceremonies. It's, it's a very happy card as well. So you do have like happiness here. You have success here with the Three of Cups. The Four of Wands is happiness, ceremony, success. Happiness and ceremony, that sort of thing, joy. And then you've got success all over the place with the Emperor. And now the Empress is a major card of abundance. It is the mother, but it also, it's about, fertility, right? And the sense that you have fertile ground to, build something in your life or plant a seed in your life and see it grow into something big. It's a major card of abundance. The Emperor, a major card of success, right? Queen of Pentacles, counterpart to the King of Pentacles. Same idea with the practicality and somebody who's hardworking as well, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right away to the clarifications portion because I am super curious about this clarification here. So let's take a look first at pulling some oracle cards, and then we'll also pull some tarot cards as well. Okay. Energy on the bottom, helpful people. Wow, I am not surprised to see this, but it is kind of incredible that you pulled this, right? So this is obviously connecting to other people in your life, which is really what this reading is about. Like, sometimes, a reading is like, okay, this is about, you being introspective and you going within and finding the answers within, which I'm a huge fan of, but this is not that reading. Okay, there are very clearly other parties involved here in this scenario for you in this week. And it does generally seem like these people are showing up as helpful. I will say that for sure. Let's see what else we have. You have Ask Your Angels, Improving Health, and Perfect Timing. Okay, there's something about timing there. Let's take a look at these two. You have Peaceful Resolution, and If You Believe. You may be in the middle of a dispute. We're going to find that out in the clarifications. And then you also have The Situation Will Improve and Let Go. Okay, yeah, not trying to, letting go of an attachment to an outcome here is, probably going to be very helpful. And that is a very powerful concept, this idea of like noticing our attachments, right? In life, it can be super, super helpful and, kind of like mentally freeing if we notice that we have attachments to something, especially an outcome. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the tarot clarifications. All right, so we're going to pull some tarot cards here. And Aquarius, do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Do hope things are going well for you. All right. You have the Six of Swords. You have the Two of Cups. And you have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. This is very interesting. So we just cannot escape the timeline here. The timeline is very clear and definitely confirmed that you have so many parties here in this situation. This is so specific. Ten of Pentacles is like generational money, right? It's generational wealth. It's leaving a legacy, building an empire, higher themes around abundance and money, right? And you see the grandparents, the parents, the grandchildren, the dog, they're in an estate. This connects to family members usually, right? But the big thing here is other people, right? It's not just the Ten of Pentacles is not the same as the Nine of Pentacles, for example, which is about you. I guess there's one thing that I have missed here, which is a potential inheritance timeline for some people. And like knowing that there are like, potentially in an inheritance scenario, there are like other parties involved. So, and what's very interesting is that I don't see like business and career cards as much. I like the Emperor is successful in business and career. The Four Wands are business and career, but Pentacles are generally about money, which can be derived from your career, but it can also be derived from other things, right? So you do have a partnership here with the Two of Cups. I do think that you've had word from someone here in the past. Like I said, somebody delivered a result to you. This was connected to partnering up with someone or something that you had to work, someone you had to work with on in a joint way. You had like a result around that area here. It felt very good for you as you have the Three of Cups and the Two of Cups. And the Six of Swords, there's a transition potentially away from that Queen of Cups. We'll see. As I look at that Queen of Cups, that's the wild card here. There's another person kind of like out there. Yeah, there's another person kind of out there. Let's see what else we have. We have the Death card with the Nine of Swords. You're catastrophizing. You have the Seven of Pentacles, and you also have the Hanged Man. Yeah, maybe you are catastrophizing, and maybe I'm just being like too direct. But you know what? That's actually what I felt like initially as I put the Death card down. So I'm gonna stick with it. Somebody may need to hear that. Just remember, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just a tarot reader. So just remember, keep that in mind as you watch this. But with the Death card, it's like a major change or an ending in one's life, and you are worried about this. Okay, you are the Nine of Swords would suggest that you are worried about this pretty significantly here. And the core of the Nine of Swords, sorry, I said Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Swords. The core of the Nine of Swords is that you are essentially making a mountain out of a molehill. You are worried about something that has not happened yet, right? And remember, we have this message here of like letting go, right? The situation will improve. I do get a sense that someone is overthinking here, and somebody is even maybe dipping into catastrophizing a little bit. So, like what practices do you have in your own life to maybe ground you? Do you have anything in your own life where you can sort of like, where you feel like you are grounded in doing this? Maybe this is working out, maybe this is walking, maybe this is yoga, maybe it's nothing like that. Maybe it's meditating, maybe it's like something else, like somebody that you can talk to. Like there's some level of grounding here that could probably be very helpful for you in this week. There is a long-term money situation that's very clearly at play here with the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is one of my real estate cards because it is associated with long-range money items, right? So this would be your retirement account. This would be your home, right? Usually you enter into a 30-year mortgage on a home, right? Most people do. That's long range, long term. So anything that is long term and you are contemplating what to do in those areas, right? Because this person's thinking about taking their harvest or not, letting it grow or taking it off the table, right? So I think that there is a contemplation of what to do around the money areas here right now. This is definitely bigger themes, and the interesting thing is that there are other parties involved. So this is maybe a little uncomfortable right now because you're trying to come to like some level of an agreement, or you're trying to work together with someone here, to partner up with someone here. And this is maybe a little bit like uncomfortable for you at this time. But remember, you are in a strong spot here with the success that's also on the board, right? Found through the Chariot, through the Emperor. The Three of Cups is celebratory, the Empress, the Four of Wands. I do think that you will end up celebrating something here. And I think you already have, but I think that you're going to get the outcome you're wanting here. The Hanged Man does indeed say let go, okay, which you have again in this Oracle card. The Hanged Man actually needs the Death card, number 12, the Hanged Man, number 13, the Death card. They have to undergo a transformation. Otherwise, they'll just stay here forever, right? They'll stay under the tree forever. Right? So the reality is that, like, not to minimize it, like, yes, change is scary. It's very scary, right? Which is what the Death card is. And yeah, there is cause to be worried about this, but there's like, levels to that, right? With the Nine of Swords and the Death card, right? Okay, you have this Four of Wands again. Okay, here's the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, if somebody like deceived you in a certain way, because the Seven of Swords represents deception, just know that that this scenario here, like, that is not how do I say this? That is not going to completely ruin your progress. I do get a sense that somebody had kind of some loose lips, right? Like, is that the right term? Like, maybe somebody maybe you did, or somebody else did, but like there was some information sharing here, and that was not kept, okay? And I say that now because we do have the Seven of Swords, and I do see that you have been seriously concerned about this, and that you are transitioning away from that person, okay? Just to be clear, the outcome here looks very nice for you, okay? Because you've got the Ace of Pentacles. That can indicate profit. It can also indicate like planting a seed, a seed in your life and seeing it grow into something big, especially as the Empress is in the same column. And the Four of Wands here, it is again, stability, ceremony, good times with others. Like, yeah, but there is something that you're stressed about here. And you may find out something that's maybe a little uncomfortable here in the future. But, like, I really want you to know, if this is your reading, what the cards are saying is that this is not the end of the road. Like, this is not going to halter your progress in a big way, okay? That's what the cards are saying. Now, you do have the Knight of Cups here. This represents courtship, or somebody very interested in you. I do wonder if, like, somebody kind of pried some information out of you in a certain way. That's interesting. Let's see what else we have here. Let's take a look at the Kipper cards. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, you have official person, you have pathway, sudden wealth. Everybody likes that card, sudden wealth. You have main male, there it is, false person. Okay, yep. It's looking for false person or thief. There it is, yep. So there was maybe some deception here, okay? You kind of just learned something, which is that, like, wow, okay, this person is not really going to be somebody I can trust anymore, you know? And maybe a bit of a challenging lesson, but like, I think you're also taking a stand here and saying like, I'm not going to continue to allow to have this person into my life anymore if they've done this, you know? False person change. Yeah. With main male next to it. Like the thing is that there is like one person, which is the Queen of Swords in this reading, right? Let's detach from genders in the reading because these are just energies that I'm reading, okay? So there is one person here in this reading that is a wild card, and you're transitioning away from them. Very clear. You have courtship. Yeah, this felt like it was like sort of pulled out of you. Yeah, Knight of Cups, courtship. And Aquarius, you kind of like were a bit surprised, might not even be enough to describe it. Gift and sudden wealth, I think for many this is around an inheritance here. I think for many this involves some sort of property as well, or a larger theme around money here. On the bottom you have message. Yeah, there's a lot going on in terms of the communication areas for you. Just remember we are in a retrograde, okay? Very easy to miscommunicate during this time. Don't let it stress you out, but I probably should have said that in this reading because not everybody makes it to the end. But regardless, go out and make the most of this week ahead. Thank you so much for being here, Aquarius. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.